Taurus, darlings. Welcome to my sector of the universe. This is Jess with Capella Wellness, here to help you step into your truth and star into your power. For those of you who've never been here before, welcome. Thank you so much for being here for the first time. I'm so glad you're here. For those of you who are returning for another weekly, thank you for rejoining me for another one of these readings. And to those of my who are my subscribers, thank you so very much for your love, your loyalty, and support. It means the world to me. I am forever grateful to each and every one of you. I want to mention that I have my first Capella class. People usually call them master classes, but I wanted to do something different and call it a Capella class on reintegrating the divine feminine. I have 3 different sessions for those. If you want more information, you can stick around to the end of the reading, or you can check out the description box below on more information about what that entails and how to book it and the dates and times and things like that. Also, if you would like a personal reading with me or a coaching session, that information is in the description box below. All right. I wish you guys a wonderful, beautiful, motivational, inspiring week, and I wish you a happy Valentine's Day. With that being said, let's get into your reading. Hey there, Taurus. Welcome to your weekly reading. How are you today? I hope all is well with you. I send you so much love and many blessings for this week and the weekend ahead. If you've never been here before, Taurus, what we're going to do is we're going to see what your overall theme is for this week, what you need to focus on and what you need to avoid for your spiritual growth, because that is what this is about, to help you attract and align with the wonderful blessings and miracles God has waiting for you. Stick around to the end so you can see what other guided spirit has for you with an affirmation of the week, what crystal is going to help you with your healing. And we're going to see what the new moon in Pisces is bringing you. We'll lastly check on what's going on with your love situation, guidance for that, okay? All right, we are ready. Spirit guides, angels, galactic family, Pleiadian, Sirians, please reveal to us for our highest good. What is the overall theme for Taurus for this week? And when I say this week, guys, you watched me before. It's it really means that this is a timeless reading, okay? Because time is fluid. I also highly recommend you watch your moon, rising, Venus, and your north node signs. Oh, we have connection here. Did you guys get this last week? I never really have time to really sit through all my readings. Bottom of the deck is commitment. There's the 2 swans. There's a union here for some of you. Put in the work. You know who you are. Yeah, there's connection and commitment here for some of you. So for those of you who are coming into union, we've all heard that this is the 6th year, the year of the lovers card, all that stuff. And today is the 22222 portal. I guess there's a reason why I'm doing the earth signs this day, but it doesn't really matter per se. But apparently with all these 2-2 energies, and this also means that, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm not an astrologer, but I believe Venus is at 22 degrees and Mars is at 22 degrees, and I think Uranus is there, something like that. There are a lot of planets that are at the 22 degree mark, I believe, today or yesterday or something along those lines. Anyway, there's a lot of 2 stuff going on, let's put it that way. All right, and of course, this is today is February 22nd, 2022. Today is also the United States' Pluto return. So this is a big day in astrology, all right? A lot is going on, especially for the U.S. So with this connection here, I feel like with all these powerful astrological transits, it's going to kick off, probably for some of the collective, a lot of these harmonious sacred unions. These are the final unions is what I'm getting. There could also be reunions with the counterpart where you connect and then you learn whatever lesson and then go back into separation phase to do more of your healing work, your shadow work, whatever it is, mission work. But I believe for others, this is about the final stage, or coming into final harmonious sacred union, which is, you know, you're ready to fulfill your joint mission with your counterpart. So it looks like a lot of, or some of you are actually going to be meeting up. You might go on a romantic trip somewhere where it's sunny, where there's palm trees, something like that. Both of you have an affinity for music, is what I'm getting from this, or music might actually be an integral part of your joint mission. And I got that for another sign. I don't know if it was for you, Taurus, last time, or if it was another, it might have been Pisces or something like that for 1 week. There is communication coming here because there is a letter and it has a heart on it. So it's telling me that for some of you here, somebody is going to communicate with you how they feel. There's Page of Cups, Page of Swords with this I'm seeing. Not only they're going to be vulnerable, Knight of Cups even, that they're going to really tell you the truth. Now, with this vulnerability here, there are a lot of truths that are going to be coming out. There could be very well secrets being revealed here. So be prepared for that. It's not just like, oh, you know, I'm badly in love with you type of thing, but there may be also communicating certain things as to why they either had issues with communicating their feelings before, or why they backed off or something like that, okay? So that's what I'm picking up on with this. But it seems like for some of you, there's going to be some sort of trip involved or some sort of get-together. And it'll be romantic in nature, but this is also to kind of help both of you bond more with one another. And you're really going to have these heart-to-heart conversations where you're going to be revealing your deepest desires, or any things you've been hiding, what your beliefs are, what your dreams are. This is about being your authentic self. I'm seeing that both of you are going to be very genuine with each other. There's going to be the dropping of masks. There's going to be, you know, vulnerability between the both of you, where it's going to allow you to deepen the bond between the two of you. And this is going to help you guys connect more. Because maybe in the past, you guys would hook up and there might be some sexual activity involved, or it just was, there was a fallout somewhere, or there was no real communication here, because you can't really have a strong connection without excellent communication here. All right, so probably that happened in the past, but now a lot of things are going to be conveyed here, not only with your person, but with you, Taurus, with regards to, it's kind of like bringing, what's it called, getting closure on things, getting explanations to things, but more so getting the truth about things. And this connection, this communication, this talk here is really going to move you guys to the next level, so that you can actually fully prepare for harmonious sacred union. Because I feel, especially my guides and God has been showing me that this conversation has to be had. And it may very well be a huge test for the both of you to see if you're going to be triggered, and to see if you're actually going to forgive each other for what happened in the past. All right? I'm getting very strongly, this is going to be a very, very, very serious, very deep conversation. All right? But Taurus, this is really about you. You kind of have to let your guard down. So does the other person, and both of you have to be your authentic selves. Because if you cannot be your authentic selves, and you aren't truly coming from the divine within, because inauthenticity is not of the light. All right? So, this union will really thrive if you both appreciate and understand where each other are coming from. Okay. And again, with this commitment here, of course, with the two swans, that's, you know, swans mate for life, right? So this conversation is going to be so deep in the sense where you're really going to be understanding, okay, you guys are fully on the same page, or it's going to determine whether you're aligned or not, right? Because some of you might come into a reunion, okay, and you'll have this discussion, whatever, or not, or it might go back to some sort of cycle, but you're going to know, and especially with what is being said in this conversation, the biggest thing here is if you can let it all out, so to speak, and not be afraid to speak your truth, and that's for the both of you, and you let bygones be bygones, you forgive each other, and it's like, okay, let's go do this. You both understand that you have a higher purpose and that you have a mission together, then you're golden, and then you know that you both are ready for this deep commitment here. This could also be where this person is going to fully commit to you. They're going to want a family. Let's see, 10 of Cups, 10 of Pentacles, build a family legacy, have a business together with regards to what your actual mission is going to be. You are really going to commit to each other because you guys have already committed a lot of time to yourselves. You spent a lot of time in isolation. You've really achieved union with self. You're vibrating at the highest frequency, which is the violet flame, which is unconditional love. And now that you have found this grace within yourselves and with each other, because swans represent grace and purity too, right? Now that you've achieved that, you're now able to commit to each other and to the relationship itself. Okay, there's something with the moon here. It could be something dealing with the new moon in Pisces that's coming up on March 2nd. All right. This could also be an indication of something was activated with the full moon in Leo, which was when Mars and Venus conjuncted at exactly 16 degrees at Capricorn. So something with that full moon in Leo kicked something off, probably with regards to preparing both of you for this conversation, or preparing the other person who hasn't been really communicating much to get that confidence and strength and personal power to speak their truth, right? Because some of you, it's your person's turn to return the text message or the email or something like that. So yeah, this is going to be, again, a harmonious sacred union here. For those of you who are full alignment and you're not in pain anymore, you're following your dharma, all right? You are not worried about the outcome. You're not even focusing on union. You're just going with the flow and letting things be, letting things go. What's it called? Going with the flow and just going with the wind. All right. So that union's coming for those of you who have fulfilled a lot of these things. All right. The other group of you, this is really understanding to have a true connection with someone. You have to have excellent communication. If you say someone and the person just locks up and just doesn't say anything, or they get triggered or they get defensive, that is not going to make a very harmonious, successful relationship, right? And this doesn't have to deal with love either, right? This also has to deal with communication with all of your connections, your relationships with your parents, with your siblings, with your friends, with your coworkers, all right? Communication is always key to everything, because if that isn't there, there's going to be a lot of misunderstandings. There's going to be a lot of misconceptions about things, ambiguities, all that stuff that the moon brings, all right? So there's also about not only with you being able to communicate clearly and honestly to others, this is also about you connecting to yourself and being honest with yourself. Even maybe communicating with yourself, or communicating better with your guides, your angels, your ancestors here. There's something about maybe some of you who have this strong connection to music or something with nature, the water, the beach, getting more sun. This is about really tuning into more of those things that you really like, that raise your vibration. There could be something with this too. and where you're really strongly connected to things that are either soul gifts of yours or things that bring you happiness and joy, that helps you to raise your vibration so that you're able to better create and manifest things like the divine feminine. And when you have that, and you're not afraid to fully express yourself through whatever it is that you want to express yourself with, you have that strength and power to be able to better communicate with others as well, and to not hold it in, right? Because you can communicate with somebody and the other one won't so much with you, but you're still being a little bit vague, or you're beating around the bush, or you're afraid to say what you want to say because of losing the person or of conflict or something like that. Okay. So when you're better able to understand how you should be communicating, that also opens up those avenues to allow better communication to flow towards you, or for allow others to try to have the courage and confidence to be open as well, right? Because when you are not authentic with yourself, other people aren't going to be authentic with you either. It's the law of attraction there. So if you're having a hard time communicating with others, Taurus, your truth, that's something, one of the things you're going to have to start working on. And when you really want to connect with someone, it's not just about sex. It's not just about hanging out, all right? It's not even just about, oh, we like music and we like the same types of movies or something like that. That could be part of it, but if you guys aren't being your true authentic selves and you can't talk about your dreams, your goals, your aspirations, speak about yourself like your true self, then that relationship won't thrive. Again, it won't be successful, won't be harmonious. You have to have more of a deep soul connection, and that includes that authenticity. And it includes you being able to be vulnerable and speak your truth. So, those of you who still need to work on those things, with the commitment at the bottom of the deck here, I'm hearing talking, I just heard something about speaking with grace, with compassion, and unconditional love. Committing to yourself first is going to be first and foremost here for the other group of you, Taurus. Because if you're overcommitting yourself to a relationship or to a job or whatever this is, and that person isn't putting the same effort in, you're doing yourself a disservice. There's unequal give and take there. Okay. So if that's you, Taurus, it's time for you to kind of take a step back and really look at to why it is that you may be overcommitting yourself to something when you know you're not getting a return of investment from it, or you're getting a poor return of investment from it, kind of like the Seven of Pentacles. So it really starts with you. You have to commit to your own well-being, your happiness, your wellness first, Taurus. If you don't have that, everything else is not going to be healthy or secure or stable, especially if you don't have it within your own life. You are ultimately responsible for your well-being, your happiness, and your abundance. Can't blame anybody else. You can't expect anybody else to do that for you or to bring that to you. It's all up to you. Okay? Whatever karmic patterns you keep seeing, repeating, or maybe you don't know they're repeating them, and maybe it's time for evaluating why you may not I can't talk today, why you're not experiencing these deep commitments, okay, or these strong soul connections. Are you really committed to focusing on yourself, Taurus? Are you really committed to doing the things that you love to do instead of trying to jump at the drop of a hat when someone says, oh, hey, let's go do this or let's go do that. And you're like, well, I need to do this, but I can put it in the back burner. But then you go do something that either you're not interested in or you don't want to do, or you're sacrificing your time and your happiness for the sake of someone else. That's not making an honest commitment to yourself, right? Because you're trying to overly commit yourself to a job or somebody else just because of some sort of fear. All right. So you have to have that balance here. And this also goes the other way, where you can't be overly selfish and say, well, everybody has to do everything for me, or this person has to do this, and that because of whatever reason, right? If that's the other extreme here that some of you might be dealing with, Taurus, then it's the other extreme where it's not going to bring the true commitment that your heart is really seeking. You have to be able to be interdependent of another person instead of codependent. You can't enable unhealthy attachments like the Two of Cups in the reverse, because if there is no true commitment within yourselves, the commitment between the both of you in the relationship is just going to be non-existent. You can't give too much, you can't take too much. Okay? So if you're expecting somebody else to do everything, that's not going to work out either. Okay? But at the end of the day, it really stems from you, Taurus, taking care of you first. You can't try to change someone. You can't try to rescue someone like the Knight of Swords. That comes with the overcommitment to somebody, right? You do you, Taurus. And everything else will fall into place. All right. Let's see what you need to focus on. What does Taurus need to focus on for this week? Spirit guides, angels, galactic family, Pleiadian Syrians, please and thank you. Thank you for your wisdom, your guidance, your support, and your clarity. Thank you, Spirit. All right. We've got the Knave of Wands, which is the Page of Wands. See what I talked about? Doing what you love to do, Taurus? You got to take that risk, right? Whatever it is that you are, do you know is going to bring you happiness? Whatever you want to pursue, you got to pursue it with courage and confidence. Don't give in to that fear. That might be a challenge, but you are able to overcome any challenge. Why? Because you have the Ace of Wands in your hands. That is the gift from God. God has blessed you with a talent, with an ability, and as long as you are not fearful of what might happen as you're tapping into those talents or utilizing those talents for the greater good of humanity, nothing bad is going to happen. You have to have this faith when you're going into these things where, again, with committing to yourself, doing what you love to do, you can't be fearful of, what's the word? Losing yourself, losing your identity, losing a person. Okay? That's why for some of you, you have to start committing to doing what it is that you love to do, what you're passionate about, and not worry about what's going to happen when you do those things. Especially if somebody is not going to back you up and somebody is not going to be supportive of you as you're embarking on something new, right? Because this is page energy. This is newness. This is a new beginning, embarking on some journey and adventure where you're not sure where it's going to take you, but you're very excited and passionate about it. And you do it anyway. And you're not worrying about what's going to happen. What is my partner going to think? Or what is my counterpart going to think? Or anything like that. My parents, my friends, my coworkers. The page doesn't think that way. And if those people aren't going to be supportive, the Page of Wands is going to be like, well, you know what? God was telling me to go on this path because I have the ace. I have this gift. I have this ability. So I'm going to go do it. I'm going to take that risk. Fortune favors the brave. I say that a lot. With great risk comes great reward. Some of you have to just go out there and do it and not have to worry about, if you're going to lose a connection or something, because if you're going to lose it, then that is God's way of telling you that that connection or whatever this is for you was not meant for you, or this is you paying more attention to yourself and your passions, your dreams, your goals, your aspirations, right? And just going at doing it anyway, and not really worrying about what's going to happen down the road. All right. This is also having this curiosity, this childlike curiosity to go do something new. Go try it out and not be afraid of doing so. When, again, you're doing things for yourself, you're really loving yourself, you're really focusing on yourself, and you're choosing God when you do that. Two of Swords at the bottom of the deck. You got to stop overanalyzing and second guessing your abilities here. There's some truth that you need to face. Some of you are afraid to face reality. Or you're avoiding the truth of the situation, knowing that you need to move forward with doing those things that are going to benefit you for your highest good. Go on that exciting adventure. If there's travel that is involved here, maybe you guys like to travel or somebody here likes to travel, go for it. This is also communication, right? It's like somebody's trying to avoid communicating what it is that they really want to do. It's like, you know what? I want to embark on this journey. I'm going to go follow my passions. I'm really going to take a chance on this. And whether you come with me or not, okay. But again, we're not going to be worrying about that, especially if you're worrying about an actual romantic relationship or something, Taurus. This is about you overcoming those challenges and just going out there and saying, you know what, I'm just going to do what I love to do. I'm going to stop avoiding this. You think there are obstacles here? You may not be ready for whatever this is, but you're ready for this, Taurus. You have to trust your intuition more about this. Got to take the blindfold off. Don't see with your human eye, see with your third eye here. It's like you can't avoid this any longer, Taurus. Go out there and take that risk. And some of you need to communicate something to somebody and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to go on an adventure. I'm going to go travel. This is what I want to do with my life. I may not be fully ready because I'm in Page energy, but God's telling me to go. Okay, Taurus, this is your time. Okay? Don't worry. Don't be all up in your head about what's coming down the pike. Again, this is about committing to yourself here and knowing that you can overcome any challenge. Now, for others of you with the union thing, yeah, there's communication coming in. It's going to be very passionate in nature. And this person wants to have a new beginning with you. This could also be, they might also be revealing something about how they used to be in the shadow side of this page, where this is a very immature person who's driven by their pants, if you know what I mean, who has high sexual energies, okay? And maybe with the connection between the two of you, this is kind of how they were operating from, because they didn't really see it as anything else. Because for some of them, they thought that, you know, having sex with somebody was going to help them connect. They thought that they didn't have to connect emotionally, but if they connected physically, that they were going to be satisfied. But it ended up being, this page started to realize that's not actually helping me at all. For some, it was making it worse. So maybe, Taurus, your person's going to be confessing that to you or communicating that to you. How this is how they saw the connection between the two of you before. And they started to realize, again, with the communication as well, but also a connection from a deep spiritual standpoint, that that was more important than anything. And again, with that commitment there, they had a hard time committing because there was a sense of the passion was so great, but they were also trying to block themselves from being emotionally attached to the individual. It's like they had some numbness to them, and they were just focusing on it being passionate and sexual in nature to avoid actually connecting on a deeper level. And that ties into emotions, which includes communicating, being vulnerable, right? That ties into pouring out your heart type of thing. So this person is they may have been very well trying to avoid communicating this to you, but Spirit is giving them kind of a kick in the pants, saying, you know what, Taurus, or Taurus's person, you're now ready to communicate here. You have to say something, and you have to come clean, because I'm hearing it's kind of like you owe it to them, but I don't like saying that, because there's a reason why this person wasn't communicating certain things in the first place, okay? Especially if you're a divine counterpart, there was a lot of trauma, it's the inner child and stuff like that, healing that had to be done. And there was something that they had to clear, this false notion of thinking that commitment and connection meant just passion and just sex, right? Again, there's way more things that come with it, as we already talked about. So this person is getting out of their head and not overthinking this, and having the courage and confidence now to just go do it. I'm just going to go do this once and for all, and I'm going to say something. Okay. So let's see what what you need to avoid for this week. What does Taurus need to avoid for this week? Spirit guides, angels, galactic family, Pleiadian Sirians. Please and thank you. Thank you for your wisdom, your guidance, your support, and your clarity. There we go. We have the 9 of Wands in the reverse. Okay. So, yep. Gotta let your guard down. That's what I was saying. You cannot keep your guard up, Taurus. You have to let those walls come down. This is a time to be vulnerable. If you really want a deep commitment and connection with someone, this is going to involve the both of you, as I said, dropping your guards, letting those walls around your heart come down. Especially if you've been trying to manifest this, Taurus, and now that this communication's coming in, and especially if it comes with truth and stuff, then why are you backing out on that? If you were kind of hoping for communication, you're hoping to have this stronger connection with someone. But again, that involves that person being vulnerable and being honest and authentic. It's the same thing with you. It has to go both ways. It can't be just one or the other, right? That's why we talked about commitment from the both of you. So you gotta just drop the barriers here. Okay? Just drop the barriers. Especially if you have been doing the hard work here, Taurus, or this is your person. Understand that God is with you. As I said, you have the Ace of Wands in your hands. God is supporting you with this. You have to trust in that. You may be feeling overwhelmed with preparing to communicate, or if you're the recipient of the communication, when you receive it, if you haven't received it already, you may feel overwhelmed by what they said. But again, if this person hasn't communicated to you in a while and they let everything out, it may be a lot to take in, but listen to what they have to say. Okay? Listen to what they have to say. And I talked about with the communication, you can't be defensive. That's why I talked about if you're getting triggered when this communication happens, if it hasn't happened already, and you start pointing fingers and blaming, you are definitely not ready for harmonious sacred union. You have to go do it again. There's some wounds you still have to heal. There are still some shadow aspects to you that you have to clear, right? That type of thing. That's why I said some of you, there will be a reunion. But if you can't drop your guards and you can't be vulnerable with each other, you're both not ready yet. And I know for me, I've had quite a few reunions with my divine masculine. And every time I thought it was going to be like the final one, but then in reality, we couldn't be our true authentic selves, so we weren't ready yet. There was still some inner child stuff. There was still healing that needed to be done. But it was helping us realize certain things. I know for me, it was helping me realize things until I finally spoke my truth, and that's when that tower moment happened. That's when everything shifted. Okay. So, and then I got tested again when communication came in, and God's like, let's see if you've learned, right? So, and I know the last time it was like I came a little bit too defensive in a sense. I'll be honest with that. But then again, I was trying to find some sort of middle ground with being like Queen of Swords and Queen of Cups, and that is a thing that takes a while to acquire. Okay, so when this communication comes in, both of you have to avoid being defensive and putting up your walls. Okay, if you still do that, you're not ready. You're not ready. Because a harmonious sacred union, or even having harmonious successful relationships, period, that are of like a higher vibrational, that are high vibrational, defensiveness and being triggered in arguments and losing control, that is not a divine quality. That's more distorted. Okay? Harmonious anything requires you to be divine, because the divine is harmonious. It's peaceful. If that isn't there, you're still operating from distorted energies. And if your person's doing that too, they're still operating from distorted energies, okay? So, whatever this is, no one can be defensive. All right? Especially if you're receiving communication from this person and it's a lot to take in. I did say some truths may very well come out. And you're going to be like, what? If you get triggered and you lose your ish, and there's an argument here or something, or there's fighting or altercation, again, you're not ready yet. That's not harmonious. Okay? So this just goes for everybody. For those of you who need to do some more of that work, and the other ones who are coming into union here, there's your test. This is the test of faith. This is that big test that you are going to have to see, that you're going to have to pass to see if you're actually ready for this union. If you're actually ready to have this commitment with somebody, or even with a job, even. Take it how it resonates, guys. But remember, it's a collective reading. You have to be honest with yourself and leave what doesn't fit for you for somebody else who's watching this. But watch the ego here. Okay? Watch the ego. It has been a long journey, yes, but here comes the biggest test. Especially if you're a divine counterpart. Are you really ready? Okay? 5 of Swords is at the bottom. See what I talked about? Altercations and arguments and fighting? I talked about that. A test. You get triggered. You get defensive. You're not ready yet. This is also about the test that's coming is to see if you're willing to compromise with your person. Compromise with your friend. Compromise with the coworker, whatever this is. Even a compromise at work. All right? Because wands could talk about career. Okay? Are you willing to compromise? Are you ready to let bygones be bygones? Because there was unfinished business here. And if Taurus, if you're the one who has to communicate to this person, okay, you know that there are hostilities between the two of you, or you found this connection as a very hostile type of connection or situation. You may have very well been the one to strip them of their power and their integrity. You were dishonest. You were saying harsh things to them. You were coming from a place of lack of integrity, right? There's some form of communication here where there was poor communication. That's what 5 of Swords is as well. And that poor communication led to a lack of actual true connection between the two of you. But there's somebody here where they tried to win at all costs, or they tried to win the argument or have the last say because they were afraid of getting hurt. Sometimes people hurt others because of the wounding, and they do it first to avoid themselves getting hurt. It sounds like a weird ass way of doing it, but if you look at it from a psychological standpoint, that's what people do. Especially if they've been really hurting inside for a long time and their inner child has been really battered, okay? That's why we have to better understand where people are coming from as to why they hurt us the way that they do. Relationships reflect our inner wounds. That's why we encounter all these people. Everyone is a teacher. This is 5 lessons. 5 of Swords is about learning your lessons with dealing with people like this. So there is a test here where you're going to see if you can let bygones be bygones. Because of the unfinished business here, somebody's trying to come close this out. They want to balance the scales. They want to say, you know what? I have to come clean here. I can't keep doing this because it's not working. So somebody here is going to be confessing some stuff. They want to make amends. They know they need to change things. They have to adapt to the changes, and they have to stop trying to do what they did before, especially with lack of communication or poor communication, just because they were trying to defend themselves, right? And then when someone told them something and they got triggered, what did they do? They got defensive. It's either you or your person, Taurus, or both of you. That needs to stop. It needs to stop. Trying to win an argument all the time, what does that do for anybody? Trying to be right all the time, why? What does that really do for you? Communicate in a different way where it's not going to be triggering, where it's not trying to be, you're not trying to come from a place where trying to win all the time or defeat the person or trying to just do it in such a way where it just comes out of nowhere, because swords are fast energy, and then you say something and it's like, well, where did that come from when you didn't think it through, right? This could also be where this might be surprising for you, Taurus, when this communication comes in and they're like, you know what? I want to make amends. I want to compromise. I have to do this differently. I have to communicate better. And for some, this is part of their lessons. And I know for me, it was my lesson too. To be able to communicate my truth. But also, again, find that middle ground between Queen of Cups and Queen of Swords. So, yes, for some of you, this communication may come to you as a shock. Especially if they're ready to be completely vulnerable with you here, Taurus. Let them speak. Listen. All right? The Five of Swords, the fighting, the arguments, if that happens, you're not ready. There's still some work to do. Don't necessarily have to go back to square one unless you just totally, you know, lose everything that you've learned. But if there's a fighter, somebody gets triggered or there's defensiveness, then reevaluate this situation. Go back and see what else you need to heal. Okay? Let's see what your guidance is for this week. Now, if you have these crystals, you can use these to help you with your healing, or you can purchase them if you don't have them. It's not necessary. But if you have these or you have a bracelet, you can hold on to these and say the affirmation at least 3 times in a row, as often as you need to. You can even look at the image and say the affirmation, okay? So we have Tiger's Eye, overcome your fears, and turquoise, prioritize your health, okay? Bottom of the deck is chrysoprase, allow yourself to receive. See, I was talking about listen. Just sit there and listen. Just, especially if someone's coming in, they want to do the right thing here. And again, it could be some sort of like adventure, right? Travel or something like that. Say, hey, let's go on a trip. Let's talk. And you're like, wait a minute. I want to control this. Don't control it. Let the person just step in and do their part. So with the Overcome Your Fears card, let me go read that from the book here. All right. Sooner or later, we are all called upon to take action and face our fears. Be empowered, courageous, and bold. Even the bravest among us experience fear. It matters only that you face that fear and overcome it. Don't let the natural instinct to avoid discomfort prevent you from realizing some of your greatest experiences. Storm the proverbial castle, push open the gates, embrace your inner tiger, and stare down that fear until it is conquered. That's the energy of the Page of Wands, guys. Shift your perspective and welcome fear as an opportunity to step up, meet the challenge, and demonstrate your resilience. What are you afraid of? Does fear affect your day-to-day choices? How would your life look if you overcame fear? Your affirmation is, I face fear head on. Today, begin one thing you've been afraid to do. All right. You guys know what that is. Turquoise, prioritize your health. Take your health into your own hands. The first step is to identify what your body needs. Everyone is unique, so your health journey requires self-reflection to discover what will make you feel your best. Then take one step no matter how small, in service of that. Maybe you commit to going to bed 15 minutes earlier and find a yoga routine online, or perhaps you download a meditation app, go for a walk, or work out at the gym. Whatever you choose to do for yourself and your health, make it a priority and commit to it each and every day. With consistency, small actions will build into amazing results. Do you treat your health as a priority? What aspect of your health could use a boost? Your affirmation is, my health is a priority, so I practice self-care. Today, do one thing to support your physical, emotional, and spiritual health. See what I talked about? Some of you have to start committing to yourselves and do things that are healthy for you, your well-being, your happiness. That is of the utmost importance here. You can't take care of yourself. You can't take care of anybody else. Let's look at chrysoprase. Allow yourself to receive. It can sometimes be easier to give than to receive, but receiving help from others is a necessary component of a healthy lifestyle. Open up to receiving as much as you give. Remember, you cannot pour from an empty cup. There has to be a balance between give and take in all your relationships, whether it's with friends, family, or coworkers. Exactly what I was saying. If you notice yourself feeling guilty or uneasy when others give to you, shift your attitude so you can embrace what they have to offer to you. Where do you give more than you receive? What feelings cause you to do so? Oops. No, I did not say that. I said shifts. What shifts can you make to create more balance in your relationships? Your affirmation is, I allow myself to receive. Today, say thank you without hesitation or deflection to all compliments that come your way. So if you're a divine feminine here, you operate more from divine feminine energy. Divine feminine receives. She doesn't always control. She doesn't always give. She gives and takes. But she also knows when it's time to receive. So quite a few of you, it's time for you to receive. That, again, that also talks into when you're prioritizing your health, give to yourself. Invest in your well-being first and foremost, Taurus. All right. Let's see what this new moon in Pisces is bringing you. What is the new moon in Pisces bringing Taurus? Spirit guides and angels, please and thank you. Thank you for your wisdom, your guidance, your support, and your clarity. There we go. Thank you. Full moon in Scorpio. Breathe through the tension. First quarter moon in Scorpio. Release your blocks. There's a lot of Scorpio energy here. See what I was talking about? Deep conversations, like things really coming out. I mean, the dark stuff has to come out, guys. Full moon in Aquarius. Be real. Be your true self. Okay? We're going to read the cards. Let's see. Full moon in Scorpio. Breathe through the tension. There's a strong sexual energy around you now. There's good news in that the good news in that sexual energy is very creative. After all, it leads to an act that creates humans. A tense situation could be about to boil over, so go carefully. Time spent outdoors will help you to calm your emotions as well as increasing your general well-being. You need to find a balance between your emotions and your sensual side. Don't deny this part of yourself. Use the energy to create what you want. Balance your ability to caress with your need to be caressed. When we're emotionally overheated, we end up focusing on what we don't want rather than on what we do want. Bear this in mind now and breathe. Your affirmation is, sexual energy fires me up in a good way and helps me express my creativity too. So if you're having strong sexual emotions here, transmute that into creativity. That is an excellent way of really boosting your creative energies, okay? We have the first quarter moon in Scorpio. I didn't even flip to the page yet. Release your blocks. When it comes to pushing through your fears and any other negative feelings, you're going to have to dig deeper. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself, because fear blocks us. Make time to clear any toxic feelings around you. Don't let pride stop you from showing how dearly you want something. It's okay to be vulnerable if you know the people you're dealing with are trustworthy. Think about others as much as yourself. There's light and shade in your situation, and you need to embrace it. Don't get stuck on one idea and refuse to budge. Think what a mental detox would involve for you. For example, avoiding people you argue with and violence on TV, etc. Make time for it soon. All right. And then the full moon in Aquarius. Be real. Sometimes we pursue someone or something for all the wrong reasons. Our ego gets involved, and before we know it, we're driving ourselves crazy by chasing something that may not even be right for us. This card reminds you that sometimes you need to back off a little, worry less, and trust more. Life is about fun and laughter, but you'll take all the fun out of it if you spend too long in your head rather than in your heart. You might win, but it might not be a victory. Release. Find a balance between being real and trying to please all of the people all of the time. Life goes in cycles, and that's okay. The more you can accept that, the easier this phase will be for you. Your affirmation is, the truth empowers me and sets me free. Look what's underneath this, because I picked that up here. Underneath the full moon in Aquarius is none other than the full moon in Pisces, the forgive card. Forgive yourself and forgive others. That is what really, that and the truth set you free. Okay. Let's put these here. And then we're going to see what guidance we have for your love situation. Spirit guides, angels, galactic family, Pleiadian Sirians, please reveal to us for our highest good. What guidance do we have for Taurus with regards to their love situation? Please and thank you. Thank you for your wisdom, your guidance, your support, and your clarity. Okay. I love the artwork in these cards, guys. It's the Tree of Life here. Life is a series of constantly shifting cycles. When we resist change, we resist the natural flow of life and create unnecessary stress. Go with the flow. You will be surprised where it leads. I talked about that. Give thanks for the blessings of love soon to come your way. Know that you deserve to be and have all that your heart truly desires. This love will come to you, Taurus, when you just go with the flow. Don't force love to happen, and don't chase it either. Let it come to you. For others of you, again, this love is coming in. And with this communication coming in, maybe a surprise to you is what they say. Go with it. Don't try to force anything. Adapt to the changes, that type of thing. Bottom of the deck is new beginning. A new adventure awaits. Embrace it and live your dreams passionately. See new beginnings here with the pages right there. Pages, the page. Okay. All right, Taurus, if you would like a personal reading with me or a live coaching session, please check out the description box below or head on over to capellawellness.com. Check out my service suite there. My last class for reintegrating the divine feminine is on Sunday, February 27th. That's going to help you reintegrate these feminine energies to help you tap into your true potential and understand what the true divine feminine embodies and what the distorted feminine embodies, so that you know the difference, so you're becoming more divine as opposed to distorted. All right, that helps you with drawing in the true love into your life, amongst other things. It also helps you to go with the flow more, stuff like that. If you're interested in that class, there's more information on the description box below. If you go to capellawellness.com, it's underneath the coaching section of my Capella service suite. You have any questions at all about this reading, about me, about my journey, or anything in general, don't be afraid to reach out to me. My email is in the description, and if you go to capellawellness.com, there are plenty of other places to get in contact with me. All right? Okay, Taurus, that concludes your weekly reading. Thank you so very much for watching this video, for subscribing to this channel if you haven't already, and for illuminating that thumbs up button. I would greatly appreciate it. I wish you the best today and always. I send you so, so much love, and I hope I illuminated your well-being today. Again, this is Jess from Capella Wellness, starring out.